Some might say against this deck, you don't stand a ghost of a chance. Please don't leave. Hey everybody, Nick from 9Card TCG. I'm still laughing at the stupid intro. Oh, man. We're playing Gengar VMAX today. Let's just go to the deck profile. Before we do, we have a giveaway. We're giving a bunch of stuff away. All this, right? You can't see some of it because I'm bad at fanning stuff out. There you go, getting all this, some code cards, 5 winners. All this is happening when we hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't, subscribe, comment, like, share, all that fun stuff. And let's get right to this deck list. Gengar V, single strike Pokemon. It's a dark type, 210 HP, Dark Slumber for 2 dark energies, does 40 damage, and your opponent's Pokemon is now asleep. Not a super good attack considering that it needs 2 dark energies, and it only does 40 damage. Now, we only have a handful of energies in the deck, so it's really likely that this 40 turns into 60, maybe even 80 damage with the help of single strike energies. And now you're hitting, say, Mew for 80, which is now 160, and it's asleep this next turn. So it's not, again, it's not super good because if they evolve that Mew V into a VMAX, if they have a switch or an escape rope or some other way of getting that Mew to the bench, well, now then the status condition isn't really a thing. So we don't really care. Pain Explosion, though, 3 dark energies does 190 damage, which will one-shot any dark weak Pokemon. You do put 3 damage counters on yourself, so whatever, it might be worth it to keep the prize trade because Technoblast is going to one-shot you anyway. Meloetta with 3 Fusion Strike energies in play is going to one-shot you anyway. So if you're looking at it from that point of view, a lot of things are going to hit you for 210. Zacian hits for 230. Urshifu, either one, right, Rapid or Single Strike, will go ahead and knock you out. Mew can easily take KOs on you. So Duraludon does 220. So the 30 damage doesn't really make too much of a difference. It will make a difference against things like Galarian Moltres and Umbreon, stuff like that has a little bit of a harder time hitting the 220, 210 mark, but for the most part, we're not really attacking with Gengar V. We're attacking with Gengar VMAX, which has 320 HP. Fear and Panic, it does 60 times the number of Pokemon V or GX your opponent has in play for just 2 dark energies. Gmax Swallow Up for 3 dark fighting, for 3 dark energies does 250 base, and you can attack next turn. Now, this 250 might not sound like a ton, especially when you compare it to Urshifu's 270, and it goes through Pokemon effects or abilities like Duraludon Skyscraper. However, you can easily mitigate this with switching out. You switch a Gengar VMAX to the bench, and bring it back up like a switch or an escape rope or retreat or some way of getting from the bench to the active and back, and you can do this again. So really not that big of a deal. Also, Gmax Swallow Up is easily powered up using single strike energies to give you 270, 290, 310. And oh, by the way, in February, Brilliant Stars comes out. We get Pokemon V Stars, which so far have a max of 280 health. So with just 2 single strike energies, you're able to take one-shots on Pokemon V Stars. Granted, those are only worth 2 prizes, but you're likely to see a fair amount of them. So something also to keep in mind that Gengar does get a little bit better as VMAXs kind of start to go on the decline. People fill up their benches. You can now hit with Fear and Panic. You don't have to have as many because you don't need that 330 or 320. You only need 250, 270, 280, something like that. So Fear and Panic doesn't have to do as much. Gmax Swallow Up, you're going to be taking those one-shots. Retreat cost of 3, not a huge deal, and we'll talk about why. Weakness to fighting is a little bit annoying, simply because the Urshifus will be able to knock you out pretty easily, but they're really the only fighting deck around at the moment. So what do we have to deal with here? Houndoom, of course, Single Strike Roar lets us accelerate our Single Strike energies from the deck to our Single Strike Pokemon. You do take 20 damage every time you use Single Strike Roar, or at least the Pokemon that you accelerate the energy to takes 20 damage. We also, of course, have Single Strike Urshifu V in case we are going against something like a Jolteon or some other fighting weak deck. We can just go ahead and Impact Blow, take some big knockouts, and it's also just a really good true prize attack. You're hitting for 220, maybe even 240 with 3 Single Strike energies, so you could be knocking out a ton with Single Strike Urshifu V. What makes this a little bit different? Well, not so much the Battle VIP Pass. I personally play Battle VIP Pass in my Urshifu Umbreon list. However, we are now running Cram-o-matic, which you can only play this card if you discard an item from your hand. But if you do, flip a coins. If it's heads, you can search your deck for any card you want. Super, super good card if you hit heads. And if you have 4, well, statistically, if you play all 4, you're likely to hit 2, which is just 2 free searches. Really, really cool. Evolution Incense, Quick Ball, and just Evolution Incense and Quick Ball are our Pokemon search. I guess Battle VIP Pass is our other search, but you can only play it if it's the first turn if it's your first turn of the game. Switch is how we're going to move Pokemon around, so we have a few switch outs. Urn of Vitality will get Pokemon the Single Strike energy from the discard if we have to discard them, Pokemon gets knocked out, something like that, from the discard back into the deck so that Houndoom can accelerate them to our Pokemon. Another really important thing is Path to the Peak. Why do we have Path to the Peak? Well, it's going to slow down Mew. They're not going to be able to use Genesec's ability. They're not going to be able to draw the cards they need and help kind of slow down their consistency a little bit. It also stops Duraludon. Because we only have special energy in this deck, Duraludon would be an auto win against us if we don't have Path to the Peak in play. However, we do run 4 of them specifically for that. Yeah, we have 2 Crobats, but we don't have to play Crobat, and we could always, bump a Path to the Peak with the Tower of Darkness so that we can play Crobat if we absolutely need, and we're not playing Duraludon, or we need to draw something like an Urn for whatever reason. We're able to bump Path, play Crobat. It's a really important card, and actually I was playing in a Team Challenge qualifier, and I said, you know what? I'm going to not play Single Strike for once, and I'm going to play Duraludon. And I played against this list. I don't know if it was the exact same list. This list is from Gabriel Smart, my coach, and if you want to check out the video that he just posted, you can check out the Shuffle Squad YouTube channel, link to all that in the video description. However, played a list really similar to this, and that Path to the Peak really crushed my Duraludon. They got to a point where it's like, they couldn't do anything until they threw that Path to the Peak down. I was like, oh no, since when does Gengar run Path to the Peak? And there we go. So Tower of Darkness is going to let us discard a Single Strike card from our hand to draw 2. Boss's Orders, move a Pokemon from the bench to the active. Marnie and Research are our draw supporters. Single Strike energy, you can only attach it to a Single Strike Pokemon, provides a dark or fighting energy, and your attacks do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Here is why we don't really care about Gengar's high retreat cost, Hiding Dark Energy. As long as it's attached to a dark Pokemon, it has no retreat cost, and it provides a dark energy. So we can attach a Hiding Dark Energy to Gengar, and now retreat, use Cram-o-matic to find a switch, and then we can just go ahead and switch, or we can dig for one with Research or Crobat or something to find a switch card, and there we go. Now we can retreat for free, switch, or we can switch into a Pokemon that has Hiding Dark Energy, retreat for free, and now use Gmax Swallow up 2 turns in a row. So that's pretty much the list. Let's go play a couple games. If this is your first time checking out the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Like I said before, if you haven't subscribed, comment, like, all that fun stuff. It helps you tell YouTube this is a good channel and other people should watch it. We have been flipping extremely poorly. I have lost pretty much every coin flip. When I was playing Duraludon in that team challenge, I flipped 2 heads for Crushing Hammers, missed them both. My opponent, okay. I don't know why I had a hit done, but whatever. My opponent, they had 3 Cram-o-matics, hit all 3 heads. I've lost every single coin flip to go first. And we are playing Duraludon here. So we're going to say yes. And we're only going to... Oh, I don't get to see? Alright, then we're just drawing them all. We have a Marnie, so whatever. What are the odds that, like... And they're going to go ahead and... Intrepid Sword. Let's hope they don't hit a ton of energy off this. they do, at least they hit enough so that they could potentially attack next turn. So we are going to go ahead and Battle VIP Pass. We'll drop 2 because we got a couple of quick balls in the hand. Let's go ahead and get rid of a Marnie for now. I'll go ahead and get ourselves a Gengar. And we'll get rid of... I think we just go ahead and get rid of the Cram. And we're going to get another Gengar just in case they do go ahead and boss up our other one. And we'll path to the peak. And I'm good. I don't want to Marnie because I have the Houndooms and the Gengar VMAX set up. So I can always Marnie next turn. Yeah, they have a lot of cards in their hand, but they didn't bench anything else. And I'm going to force them to use a boss. So if they want to knock out a Gengar, they're going to Adventurer's Discovery. So they're just going to take the knockout on a Houndour. Let's see how many Pokemon they decide to bench. So Fear and Panic is only going to do 6, 12, 180. And I have to knock out the Zacian because it can obviously continue to attack, and it's like a huge problem. So I don't want to get rid of the path to the peak. And I haven't searched the deck yet. So we do have all of our single strike energies. We got 2 switches. We have 1 more Hiding Dark energy. So we did prize 1. We have our Gengars. We're looking pretty good. So this is actually, we're feeling pretty hot. And I'm just going to Marnie them just to take their hand size down a little bit so they maybe don't have the counter stadium. We got 3 Cram-o-matics. We are going to save those for next turn. Usually they don't run any type of like hand disruption. So this will do 6, 12, 180, 200, 220. So it should be enough to knock them out. And now we can still Gmax swallow up next turn if we need. We got our other Hiding Dark energy, so if they do boss up something, we just attach an energy and get free retreat, which is really nice if they happen to boss up this other Gengar. So we can still attack them. Right? Path to the Peak is going to allow us to hit them. And depending on how many Pokemon they bench will determine how... And they're just going to pass. I actually don't really want to do that. Do 120, 140. Okay. 160, right. So, and then I could just Gmax swallow up and then start setting up this one. Gmax swallow up, manually retreat because the Hiding Dark energy. Gmax swallow up. Then got a Pokemon Center Lady, heal 60 damage. That's okay. I plan on Gmax swallowing up anyway, which will do 290. I'm still going to save it. So they have how much health? They have 260. I do 250, 270, 290. So I think we're good to just go ahead and Gmax swallow up, take the knockout. There's really nothing they're going to be able to do. Urshifu doesn't really help us too much. Houndoom. And another Path to the Peak. So even if they do bump it this turn, we have another Path to the Peak ready to go. Crushing Hammers is fine. So now, let's go ahead and set up this other guy. And we'll just Gmax swallow up. I might have actually been able to win. I could have Cram-o-matic for a Switch card. That's what I should have done. Should have crammed, get a Switch, attach the basic... Actually, yeah, I could have won. Oh well. We'll see what they do. They use Zinnias. And they just concede. There we go. They can't stop Path to the Peak. Let's do one more game. It looks like we are going to be playing a Psychic deck. I mean, it could be Shadow Rider. You've seen a little bit of those once in a while. It could be Mew. It could be something totally not Psychic. They just might like the color purple or the Psychic deck. Oh, we win. Oh my goodness. We're going to go first because we can always Cram-o-matic for a Battle VIP Pass. If we don't have it, we have neither, which is a little unfortunate. So what we're going to do is Tower away probably an Urn. I'm going to say Tower and Urn. We get a Cram-o-matic. Can we play it, though? We can. And we fail it. We're going to get rid of the Gengar VMAX, then. Okay, well, that's a little unfortunate. But we do have the Evolution Incense to... but of course they have it. Of course they have it. Why not? I'll be surprised if they don't have two. Why do I even talk? Why do I even talk? They're going to hit the heads and the crushing hammers because they deserve it. Oh my, wow. I haven't seen Mew play crushing hammers though, so that's interesting. We are just going to drop a Path to the Peak this next turn. They don't really play Marnie, and I'm actually alright with my hand. Because they're going to get hit for 80 damage and be asleep. So, you know, it's not too bad. And then we're going to be able to Marnie. They're going to throw those power tablets down. There's a chance that they can't win because they peonied. I guess they could, right? They just get one card, though. Yeah, they can't win. So I'm not really sure what their plan is. Of course, they hit heads on that. How many escape ropes did they use? Just the one. Do 80, 160. Not enough to take a knockout. So I think we'll go ahead and do this. I can get the Gengar and get a knockout, right? I get the Vmax. We'll establish a Houndour. That's not what I want. I want you. We'll just research, get a few cards. Of course, I get a bunch more researchers. Can I actually hit heads on a Cram? Sure, why not? And just go ahead and Fear and Panic. Get 2 fresh prizes. Another path, so that's really nice. And they don't have an answer. Nobody got the answer. I told you, you don't stand a ghost of a chance. I can say that at the end of the video because if you've gotten this far, I mean, like, you probably like my stupid jokes, but that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed, found it a little informative. If you did, do all the stuff I said before. Subscribe, like, comment. Commenting and sharing this video are huge. I can't express how much that tells YouTube, like, other people need to watch this. But why did these two games go the way they did? Well, Duraludon just couldn't find their crystal caves. Even if they did, we were able to either search for another path with Cram, or we got one off the prizes, and we just really nullified their ability. The Mew deck, they must have not had an answer for path in their hand, which is why I kind of didn't want a Marnie, because I didn't want to give them fresh cards. I wanted them to work with what they had, and if they did have it, okay, well, we happen to get another Marnie off the path anyway. We got another path off the prizes, so we were in good shape. They're not really going to be able to knock out. I mean, they already used the power tablet. They can get 3 energies into play with Sparkle, so that's 270, 210, 240, 270, 310, 300. They could do, they could do most, like, they can't knock me out, right? They can't do enough to knock me out. So I would be able to take out the Meloetta, and while doing that, establish another Gengar. So things weren't looking super good for Mew as soon as I put down that path to the peak. I was a little surprised at the Peony play, but hey, what do I know? Maybe that was a misplay on their part. They should have looked for, dug a little bit deeper for a Sparkle. I understand you want to dump your hand so that you can use Genesect to refill it. I get that, but wasn't really sure about their choices of cards. They didn't really seem to get anything to set up for next turn. But yeah, that's pretty much how the deck is going to go. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.